Hi, everybody. I know it's a new face, and we're doing the Just Angie Takeover for a few episodes. We are changing the format, so we're moving on to podcast conversations so that we can be able to have longer, in depth conversations with our guests. And yeah, I'm really excited to be starting off the new season of this new format on this platform. So today we are joined by the one and only Mr. Kihato. Mr. Kihato is in the building for our first episode, which will be focused on love, relationships, and marriage. So, Mr. Kihato, how are you
I'm
today?
fine, thank you, Mrs. Kihato.
I'm not Kihato,
Fine,
I'm
Mrs.
Mrs.
Matu.
Matu.
Sawa.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, how do you feel to be back here again?
Very good actually. It's in my opinion, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I think what's exciting for me is that I enjoy it when Mom does the interviews, but I'm happy that you're finally interviewing me.
Yeah.
And I really look forward to us having the conversation today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this conversation is on marriage and
Yeah.
relationships, and this is the month of love,
Mhm.
February.
Mhm.
So I'll start off with asking you, what's one thing you remember from the first time that we met?
From the first time that we met, which was in November
Yeah,
2021.
No,
Sorry,
2020,
2020. That's when we first met.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that stood out to me is how aligned we were. I felt like I was talking to someone familiar.
Yeah.
That really was special because you don't. I think when you speak to so many unfamiliar people, and finally reach someone who kind of gets you. That was something that was very unique and special for me.
But can you tell people why we met? Why did we meet in November?
Well, there was a lot of reasons.
Aye.
Well, one of the main reasons was because of me. Obviously, I delayed. I got your number much earlier.
No, it was your birthday, and I decided to take you out for lunch.
That was not the first time we met, my love.
Yeah.
No, we met first week of November, at Art Cafe. Remember? And then you took me to Bracing.
Oh my God! Yes.
Guy.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wait, yes, yeah. We went for lunch.
Yeah, we went for
at
lunch.
At cafe.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So after going for lunch at Art Cafe, I just felt the familiarity. Then you taking me for lunch the next week during that time was really, really, really nice. I really enjoyed that. So I think that's the one thing that stood out on our first day meeting was
Familiar.
how familiar it was.
Yeah.
I felt like I was speaking to someone I'd known
I
all
remember
my
as
life.
well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even for
yeah.
me, like we spoke for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it felt like I had known you. It
Yeah,
didn't feel like
yeah.
it was anything
Forced or
yeah,
we weren't looking
foreign
for
or
anything.
awkward. Yeah.
We're not looking for anything in common. We
Yeah.
kind of already had so much in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, after that, of course, there's a long story, but we've been married now almost 3 years.
Yes.
So when you proposed, or when you were beginning to think of proposing,
Yeah.
what made you know that I was the one?
I think I knew pretty early on because of how it flowed. Because I first relied on God, of course. So my prayer was it should just flow, and I just surrendered to that process. Um, and nothing. There was never. It was a step of faith for every point in time. So I kind of knew early on. That's why I started looking for the ring after
Yeah,
4
4
months.
months of us dating. I found this out after that he had begun to buy the ring after 4 months of us dating. I was like, how did you know?
Yeah, so because it's just there's a feeling there's a confirmation that you felt a feeling of comfort, because ideally you should be comfortable not just with the other person but also with yourself, and a lot of people don't take time to find out if, let's say, the person is perfect and they have some work to do, they don't feel comfortable with that situation because they're not there yet. So you kind of have to rise to the occasion so that you can feel comfortable. So I think personally,
Even sorry, on that note about feeling comfortable, you had started doing the journey of therapy.
Yes, yeah.
Before you decided to
even date.
get into a relationship
Yeah,
with me.
yeah.
Yeah, you did your.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell people a bit about that journey and why you decided to
do
embark on it.
It was 2020. I'll mention a few names. So it was early 2020. There's a friend of mine called Sam Wai who kept on. My mom had passed away in 2019, and his mom and my mom went to the same church, so they were sick around the same time, and unfortunately passed away within maybe a month of each other. So my mom passed away in November. His mom passed away in January. So it was a very so he was kind of like, we would call it to check on each other. How you doing? So he had found a therapist, a fantastic guy named Joseph. So he told Joseph, like he kept on telling me, you really need to consider therapy, Matu. It's changing my life. It's this, it's this. But I was like, in my mind, I wasn't putting it off. I knew I was going to have to do it, but I was at a place where I was just taking the time to prepare myself. Because it's like, once you start something like therapy, there's no going back. There's a lot that you uncover about yourself that you can't now cover back up. So there's so much that we had to like there's a lot of push and pull that I had, but then finally COVID set in March 2020. We moved from where I was living in Kiamuru, lived at my aunt's house in Riverside, and I remember God saying, "It's time now for you to pray for your wife. It's time now for you to start thinking about the next stage in your life. You had a lot of responsibilities over the years, your mom, your siblings, yourself, all those things that were going on in your life. But now it's time to focus on you and your next step, because now those responsibilities are no longer there. Mainly the responsibilities of caring for our mom. So now that is what triggered now the next step, and he told me, he gave me some very clear instructions, and how he spoke to me is in my spirit. It's a voice you hear inside here, where he just told me, okay, first you have to first fix yourself, because I'm not going to let you go into a relationship not
Or a
having dealt
marriage.
or a marriage, not having fixed these
Yourself,
issues.
yeah.
So when I agreed, I said, okay, I'll do whatever you need me to do. And I told him, I'm submitted. I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever you need. And there was a life before that where there's a point of surrender that I got to before even that time that made it easy for God to start working on my heart and my mind and changing things. So at that place, I was already willing to surrender to whatever God said. I never argued. If He told me go left, I'd do whatever I can just to go left, just to honor and obey that instruction. So I a month later I was introduced to you on phone by your aunt Mona, who was a very good, who had been
No,
my
it was
friend.
Auntie Kaki.
Yeah, it was Kaki at,
Yeah.
at Mona's birthday party.
Yeah.
So
So let me say the story. So I was recently single.
Yes.
And then one of my aunties, she's like a good mentor. She's been a mentor to me for years. She was just at a party and Matu was there. You know, Matu, I call him 30 going on 60. He likes to hang out with older people. I think he was like the youngest in the room.
Yeah.
And he just started speaking to them and saying, you know, he's ready for marriage. He's ready to find his wife. So when my auntie Kaki heard this, she was like, So she texted me at that party there. She's like, I found a guy. He seems very, he has his head on right. He said he's ready for marriage. Could I give him your number? So I was just like, okay. Anyway, these meddling aunties. So I told her, yeah, it's okay. You can give him my number. And so, yeah, she gave Matu my number. She told me that he'll reach out to me soon. Matu took his sweet time 3 weeks later. But yeah, finally he did reach out. So, and then we went for lunch that time at Cafe.
Yeah.
So that's how our relationship beginning journey.
started.
We were introduced by an aunt.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
It
So
did, yeah.
don't ignore your aunties who
That's
are
true.
trying to
Very
set you
true.
up.
give them a chance. They're
Yeah.
not. And I think I think there's a few things that you missed.
Yeah.
The reason I took so long to call her, number one,
You're still doing therapy?
I had just started doing therapy.
Yeah.
I was just starting to do therapy. Number two, Kaki set the bar here, when my wallet was here. So she told me that he's gonna take you to Social House, and I didn't even know where this place was. I had no idea that Social House is in
Lavington.
Lavington. I didn't even know
Yeah.
what it looked like on the
Yeah.
inside. So in my mind, this was out of reach for me completely. But
Yeah.
I just went with it, and I just started just accepting it. And one person who really encouraged me to keep to give it a try, because I also had my assumptions about you, because I was like, Instagram, she has all this attention. I felt like I didn't want to compete for your attention with the world, and that's what I felt I was going to be doing. One person who was my little sister Sherry. So you and her used to go to gym together.
Yeah.
And you didn't. I
didn't know that she was your sister.
So and she used to say, Althea's a nice person. I think you should just give her a chance. Yeah, I think she seems like a nice person. I don't know much about her, but I just think just give her a chance. She seems like she's a nice person. So in that, those are the small details that I think that you missed out on.
So 3 years down the line, do you feel like 3 years of marriage but 4 years of dating? Did you make the right decision?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that was the best decision. Actually, I believe that's the best decision I ever made in my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
so nice.
Yeah, the best decision I ever made.
But they say that
Bafan,
the partner the
Yeah.
decision
Yeah.
of the partner you choose to settle
Yeah,
down with
yeah.
is one of the major decisions of your life that
Absolutely,
can either
yeah.
make or break you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And without fear of contradiction,
Yeah.
and I'll probably say 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 100 years,
Yeah.
the best decision I ever made. You can put that on record.
Guys, wow, don't
You
make
can
me
put that on record.
blush. Thank you. No,
Yeah.
even for me as well.
Yeah.
Just having and I was gonna say even the beginning of our relationship and everything, it's been so intentional. Even from your end, you knew what you wanted. Immediately we started dating. You said this is for marriage. So I was never in limbo. You know, like relationships these days, you're just confused. You don't know what's happening. Are we going left? Are we going right? You've always been intentional, and even in our marriage and as the head of our home, you have always steered us correctly and given us direction. And that's one thing I'm so grateful for.
Oh,
So thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
So on to our next question. So almost 3 years in marriage, has your perspective on marriage changed?
No. Okay, let's start with the perspective I first had.
Okay.
Number one, the only perspective I did have in a marriage was a very traditional one, because the only marriage that I saw that seemed to be doing well was that of my grandfather and grandmother. But you see, they were very old.
Yeah.
And because they were very old, they were like there's a lot of these things I would consider acts of service and kindness and love that they'd show each other. I didn't know about the fights. I didn't even know about the arguments they may have had.
Yeah.
I found them in the sunset of their love.
Because it was in the later years.
It was in the later years. So
Yeah.
when we moved, my father died in 95. I was born in 91. My grandmother died in 2003. My father died in 95, and we moved into their house around that period. So I didn't, and then we moved out in around 2001. So in that entire, 2002. So in that entire time is all I had to spend to see my grandfather being married to somebody else.
So was that where your perspective of marriage was formed?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So my perspective was very, a man, number one, has to be a provider. He has to take care of his family. He has to work hard. My grandfather used to be like drum it into us. You have to work hard. You have to work hard. So that's one thing, at least for me. I saw a man has his role. A woman is supposed to be there, and you're supposed to support your wife and take care of her and give everything 50-50. So, for example, all his businesses, my grandmother owned.
What are we doing 50-50?
The businesses, everything.
Oh, I thought you were
Assets,
saying
land.
the woman providing
No, in fact,
50-50.
the man does
Yeah.
most of the. So basically, it's a partnership. So he'd go and trade and look for the work.
Yeah.
And then he'd come and give the money to her, and then she goes and looks for the
Invest
property.
in everything, yeah.
And then they had a principle where every year they have to buy a new property.
Yeah.
That's where my obsession with property came in. 'cause,
Yeah. Hey, Matu is a true Kikuyu. Mogodas.
I'm a
Day
huge,
in,
I'm a
day
lover
out.
of Mogodas.
Yeah.
I think the more Mogodas you have, the better, because
Okay.
you can never go wrong with the Mogoda. Even your
property,
father
yeah, it's
says
true, yeah.
So so my perspective was a structure that was structure and order.
So it was a good perspective.
Very
of
very
marriage.
positive perspective.
Yeah.
However, it didn't capture the intricacies
Of what?
of marriage, of the dynamics of how you have handle conflict, how you have conversations. So that changed because
Now being in marriage.
now being inside the marriage, I realized that everybody is a work in progress.
Yeah.
And should continue to be a work in progress.
Yeah.
The worst thing, and that's why, for example, I advocate, I continue to go therapy.
We also do
we're going
therapy.
therapy together.
Yeah.
And you're also doing your own therapy.
Yeah.
I personally believe that because life is always changing, one thing they don't tell you is that you're going to change whether you like it or not. That marriage will change you. You can't be the same person you were when you got married as you are right now.
Yeah.
Because motherhood and parenthood will change you.
Yeah.
Growth will change you. Success will change you. Failures will change you. Whatever it is that life actually, let me just call it what it is. Life is going to change you. So it's about adapting to the change. And that's something that I wasn't made aware. But luckily I had been forewarned when we did Doha and also in therapy itself, and that it should, and I don't know to what extent. They didn't give me that much depth, but they said you will change.
I think marriage is something where you just have to learn in aqua
Absolutely,
ground.
yeah.
You have to be in it to understand.
Yeah.
Because even during your wedding day, like my wedding day, you're given so much advice, but you're not even there, and you don't know how to. I think the practical is always better than theory.
Absolutely.
Theory doesn't have, different case scenarios and like actually living it on the ground. It's much different. So I think I like what you've said about continuing to be a work in progress, because you can never be the perfect partner, and you can't expect your partner to be perfect. So I think it's for me, my perspective has been, yes, being a work in progress, willingness to compromise, communication, Matu. I'm the communicator in
Very
this
true.
relationship.
Yeah.
Mr. Matu is the
It's-
quiet,
It's true.
avoidant,
Yes, very true.
keeping quiet.
100%. But you see, it's something that I continuously work on.
Work on, yeah. We're working on
That's
it.
why I'm a work in progress.
Exactly. You and me, I'm a work in
Yeah,
progress.
yeah.
Yeah, none is perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, those small things you learn. Because actually, when you're in a relationship,
Yeah.
I don't think we used to have. I didn't see the shut down element of you in a relationship.
Yeah, you couldn't.
But I thought if we'd have arguments,
No, but you
we'd
see, the
be
thing
able
is,
to see it.
we didn't live together.
Yeah, that's true.
And
When you
beyond
live
that,
together, yeah.
beyond that, when you're married, you there's like you're basically inside a burning building, and the doors and windows are all taken away, and you just have to figure out how to fight it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
'Cause there's no escape.
Because there's no escape.
Yeah.
In relationships, whether or not you've been dating for 10 years, you can always leave.
You can go
If
to
you're
your
not-
house.
Yeah, and also if you can break up, if
Yeah.
you're not married, you
Yeah.
can just break up. But before you think of breaking up in a marriage,
There's so much.
There's so much that you have to consider.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that you're fighting about, in all honesty, it's ego that have been bruised.
Yeah.
So it's not nothing serious. There are very few serious things that can cause a marriage to break out.
Yeah.
And I mean very few.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Some of the other things is just your ego
Yeah.
that gets in the way of the
Yeah.
marriage. And
Yeah.
that's where things fail. Like, for
Yeah.
example, as a guy, there's certain expectations that maybe had been communicated to me where, you should come home whenever time you want, blah, blah, and you don't have to tell your wife where you are. I don't believe in
But
that.
that has never been
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I believe, unless I'm surprising you with
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
I believe you have my location.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like you call me and ask where are you today.
Yeah.
I want you to check for yourself,
Yeah.
and so that I can do my work
Yeah.
without feeling that I have to say, oh, I'm here now. Because
Yeah.
sometimes when and you know this, when I'm focused, I
Yeah.
find it hard to break my concentration
Yeah.
when I'm focused on work, unless it's an emergency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things like that, things like I help out with the baby, which I really like doing,
Yeah.
spending time with the baby.
Yeah. I think that's
yeah.
also been such a perspective
Yeah.
change for me. Seeing you as a dad,
Yeah.
it's made me even appreciate you more.
Mm.
You're so intentional,
Yeah.
such a present father.
Yeah.
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 Alora is lucky.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'm very fortunate, because
Yeah.
I get to do that.
Yeah.
My late father didn't get to do that
Yeah.
for my siblings, and more so my little sister, because she was a few months when
Yeah.
she was younger than Alora when he passed
When he
away.
passed. And I remember
Yeah.
there's one thing when I asked you, how do you want to be as a father? And it struck me your answer. You said, I just want to be alive. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Because your dad died
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you were like 4 or 5.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you, as a father, the bare minimum, you just want to be alive.
at the least,
Yeah.
everything else is important.
Yeah.
But alive and healthy, so that I can be the man that I know I can be. Because I know as long as I'm alive and healthy, I'll be able to take care of my family. I'll be present. I'll be able to do the provision and all that.
Yeah.
But I have to be here.
Yeah.
You see, I'm sure my father would love to trade places with someone who would
was here.
exchange his situation and make better decisions.
Yeah.
So that he could just be alive and figure out the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
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 That was so
Yeah.
impactful for me.
Yeah.
So shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so true at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
So what's a lesson you've learned in marriage?
Many.
What, if you could, summarize it to 2 or 3.
Oh goodness. Patience. A lot of patience. Yes,
Matu.
you know that. Patience.
Wait, patience from who? Yeah, so annoying.
Patience. Patience. As a man, patience. Patience. Patience is the cornerstone of your role in marriage. Patience, understanding. Like for example, today I had gone to surprise you. You're getting upset at me. I'm going to buy you something.
Because you don't know how to put a proper lie on where you are. Now you're going out.
But you have my fine mind.
You're going against your normal routine.
Yes.
So I'm in like, what is this shady behavior that you're doing? So he came to surprise me with flowers and chocolate for the first shoot. But Matu doesn't know, like, make up a lie. Say,
Why am I lying?
okay, but then if you're not making a story that makes sense, I'm wondering why
I
you're
didn't
being
lie.
shady.
All I said is I'm going ahead of you. That's it. I
For a
like to be-
meeting.
I said I was coming to this. Like this, I treat it like a meeting, and I need to be here 15 minutes early.
Anyways,
Which is true for everyone who does work with me. I like to show up 15 minutes
yeah,
early
early.
for every meeting.
Yeah.
This is just good practice. So I was thinking about the crew that's here. They want at least I should be there on time. So I had to. While I was doing that, I had to organize this things.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Anyways, your 3
Patience.
lessons, patience.
Patience, understanding, being understanding, and I think they kind of rope into
Okay.
together. And
Last one.
don't be quick to. I'm learning to more now than ever is to see the perspective. understand your perspective. And it can only happen when, unfortunately or fortunately, there's a solution through therapy, because you need to learn. Some people naturally can see the perspective of other people,
Yeah.
but it's hard. It's a skill that you must learn
Yeah.
in practice.
Yeah.
So being able to see where you're coming from,
Yeah.
without getting upset, and
Yeah.
you being and also you being able to see, and it has
Your
to be mutual,
perspective
because
as well. Yeah.
it can get tiring if your perspective is never validated, and then the other person, you're validating the other person, and they, without unconsciously, they don't even know they're being validated.
Yeah.
When you listen to their perspective,
Yeah.
but they're not able to validate you because they
Yeah.
don't even know
Yeah.
that that's what you've been doing
You've
for
been
them.
thinking exactly. Yeah.
So understanding, and that's lesson number 2. Number 3, I'd say just you just have to maintain the intentionality.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't realize how much you need to continue to put effort, even after 3 years, even after 10 years. That's why flowers for me are a big thing. Small, simple things like that, just to make you smile.
Yeah.
And also understanding that you need to always have a motivation, because for me, I like seeing you smile. I like seeing you happy.
Aw.
So when I buy you flowers, I like when you smile and get excited.
Yeah.
When I buy you chocolates, when I do something nice for you, I like to see your reaction. So
Yeah.
I personally enjoy seeing that.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Oh, nice.
So it's always something that, find something. I could say your North Star. So
Yeah.
for example, it could be you guys love reading books together. For example, I know a couple friend of ours. They're both readers. They're strong introverts, but they read all the time. So they share books with each other, and they understand each other from those two different perspectives.
Yeah.
But I think they
Those are your 3 lessons.
Yeah, those are 3 lessons. Yeah.
Okay. So I think for me, my 3 lessons, one would be compromise. It's so important because a marriage is something you're building 2 people, actually 3 with God. So compromise has to be there. Second lesson, God. I don't know how people are doing marriages without God. There's no way, because He's literally the
Foundation.
central cornerstone and foundation you need for a successful marriage. 3, I would say, what would I say would be the 3rd lesson? I think, I don't know if it's how to phrase it, but it's you two in it. So the outside noise has to be quietened. People will always have perspectives. Family, friends, siblings. You need to quiet those perspectives, the outside noise, insulate
your
yourselves,
marriage,
and just be you two and God, and that's it. That's how you can have a successful marriage. But if there's too many chefs in the kitchen, give you perspectives, and they spoil the broth. So those would be my 3 lessons.
Also understanding where people are coming from when they're saying those things, just to add on.
Yeah.
Because when someone is coming to give you advice, always ask yourself, what's their gain?
Yeah.
What's their intention behind what they're asking you to do?
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, the intention is not genuine or pure. So I always tell you this, that before you take advice, always assume someone wants something. And I know you say that my perspective is jaded or bad or negative, but it's because of what I've seen in my life.
Gone through,
You expect that your family, for example, to always want what's best for you. But no, sometimes they want what's best for them.
Yeah.
And that means hurting you.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, it's about understanding that where the person is coming from, especially when they give you advice, old and young. A lot of the time, it's either coming from broken, where they are in their brokenness and they're not aware, or it's coming from what they don't have, which is what you have, and they'd rather, there's crabs in a barrel. Yeah, if I can't have, let's bring each other down. Yeah.
So what do you think is our greatest strength as a couple?
God, our relationship with God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
I would say that as well.
Yeah, because.
And we've involved him from the beginning. From when we were dating. Even when we were dating, Matu would call me. We are praying twice a day.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, which relationship is this? But yeah, I would agree. Our decision together to put God in the center and to keep Him at the forefront from the beginning. I think is our greatest strength.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's we are nothing without Him, and I can't take credit for anything.
Yeah.
I can't take credit for this marriage. I can't take credit for anything I have, any accomplishment that I've seen. It's all the hand of God that has made it possible, because I tried without Him, and I went nowhere.
Yeah.
And by God's grace and and through Jesus Christ, I've been able to see things manifest and work out. But it's only and that's why I know you try to tell me, you take credit, you've done well. I can't, because I honestly tried every single method without Him, and it didn't work. It's not me in any way, shape, or form. So I can't take any credit for anything. Yeah.
And I think also the second thing I would say is our intentionality from before.
That's true.
Like even the courses we did in Doha, the finance course we did together, Centonomy. There was just the conversations we had. Because when we first entered marriage, the first year, many people were saying they found it so hard. Me and you were like, when we were
just
reflecting, we were like,
gelling. Yeah.
the first year
gelling.
was a breeze.
Yeah.
Like I think it was just so easy because
Yeah.
we had those conversations before. So I
Absolutely.
knew where your head was at.
Yeah.
You knew where my head was at.
Yeah.
Some communication expectations were communicated. So the first year was very
That's true.
easy.
Yeah.
Even the second year, I think. Now we're entering the third year.
Yeah.
Of course, dynamics have changed with
Of
a
course,
child,
with the baby, yeah.
but it's still not too bad.
It's not too bad, especially since I think why those marriages are hard is because you go in with a hardline stance.
Yeah.
I do things this way, and this is the only way.
Yeah.
For me personally, I try to be as flexible as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
I'm very flexible because
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
This is what a man is supposed to be doing. This is
Yeah.
what
I do believe in my honest opinion, a man has to do more.
Of course. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So I don't have, and the expectations that I had were communicated because I don't need you to cook for me every night. Just make sure there's food.
Yeah.
I don't need you. I don't care what side of the bed I sleep.
Yeah.
That's fine. These are not issues that are worth
fighting over.
Being hard
exactly.
on,
yeah.
you know, because it's small things like, did you leave the toothpaste like this? I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that really helped is having the 2 bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I know at first you didn't understand.
Yeah, that's what Matu likes, his own bathroom.
Yeah.
And me my own bath. I found out so weird.
Yeah, because I saw it. I saw my grandparents
they had
have
their own
that.
bathrooms.
It makes sense because see now, in your space, I don't trouble you and I don't touch your stuff.
Yeah.
And in my space, I have my stuff. Because
you
see
still
now,
touch my skincare.
I don't. I have
Yeah,
my own.
you
I actually
do.
have my own now.
Yeah, now you bought your own, but
Yes.
before you used to be taking my
At the beginning of
vitamin
marriage,
C
yes, because
serum,
I didn't have. Now I have
my
2 even at home.
lotions and whatever. Yeah.
But now I have 2.
You're
But
touching my stuff.
they're mine.
Okay.
Yeah, and she also touch. You also touch my stuff.
What? Which stuff?
Okay. You
Vaseline?
take my toothpaste. You take my Vaseline. You take.
Anyways.
Sorry. Now.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
You take a
okay,
lot.
okay,
If
okay.
I wrote a list, if you
Yeah.
had told me, I'd have come prepared with that.
Yeah, with a
that
list.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So
My water, my glass of water.
you're still here.
Yes.
We're moving on. We're moving on. So I wanted to do like a fun sort of rapid fire segment to close it off.
Yeah.
So I'll start and ask, who is the better cook?
Me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Matu is such a good cook. And it's so funny when you look back, you sort of marry someone who's like your dad. My dad also loves cooking.
Yeah.
Till today,
Yeah.
he cooks for himself.
Yeah.
He's a good cook as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So yeah, when we have guests over, likely Matu cooked the main meal, and then I do dessert
Yeah,
because I like
that's true, yeah. Yeah,
I
she's very
do
good
really
with
good
desserts.
desserts. I
Yeah.
like making pineapple crumble, brownies,
Brownies, yeah, cakes,
cupcakes.
yeah.
So, but yeah, you're the better cook.
Yeah.
We can agree there. I already know the answer to this. Who's most likely to leave dishes in the sink?
You.
Yeah.
100,000%.
Why?
You tell me, why do you like leaving dishes in the
I
sink?
don't like doing dishes. Oh my god, I hate doing dishes.
And I don't mind. You see, now,
Yeah.
generally speaking, that actually doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
I don't, because
you don't
actually,
mind doing
I
dishes.
take my time and I'll do the dishes just to decompress, because it's a way just to clear your mind of all,
Yeah.
like to distract yourself with something menial.
Yeah.
Because see, you're using your brain a lot at work.
Yeah.
So when I see dishes, all I have to do is just
Be washing them as you're thinking about
soak,
something else.
rinse, repeat, as in just
Yeah, but in the process,
Yeah.
breaking all my wine glasses.
Well,
Matu has
you have new
broken
ones.
all
You
my
have
wine
new
glasses
ones.
in the house.
You have new ones.
Only one is remaining,
That's
guys.
not true.
Surely.
I bought you a whole box in.
Recently,
Yes.
but after breaking all of them, so he's not allowed to wash my wine glasses now. I wash my own wine glasses because I don't understand why is it the wine glasses you break? No, nothing
I'm not
else.
the only one who breaks them, but it's also because of using hot water. You know, if you
Yeah,
use that, they
maybe.
become soft. So,
Yeah.
if they break.
Anyways, he bought me new glasses, so that's okay. Who apologizes first after an argument?
Me. Yes.
That's a lie.
Althea, if I'm
Matu.
wrong, I say sorry.
Matu.
Yes, me.
You who likes stonewalling and
I do
pretending like I don't
stonewall
exist
when I feel
and ignoring me.
when I feel like I'm right and you're wrong. Yes, but when I'm wrong, I even apologized on yesterday. Even yesterday in the morning, I was apologizing.
Okay.
Yes, I apologize.
Maybe I think I apologize.
Ah.
Yes, I do,
No.
Matu. I'm always one trying to talk to you and
I can
and,
count
and,
the
and
apologies
whatever.
you gave me last year on one hand.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Then it's 50-50.
No,
Yeah,
no, Amanda.
honestly.
No, there's no 50-50.
Matu.
Matu, you did this. I'm sorry, babe. Matu, you did this. Matu, you messed up here. I'm sorry, babe. I say sorry, like
So, may I don't say sorry?
you do, but I can count how many times. I can actually count. on one
Fine.
hand.
I'll
I
just
can,
give it
and I
to
know,
you.
and I won't say
We're
them
in
here.
public. I don't
Yeah,
want to argue. So
because
okay.
it's true. You can't
It's
argue.
okay.
You remember
It's you.
even
It's
yesterday I
fine.
said sorry.
Oh,
Even
whatever.
yesterday morning.
Next question. Who is more romantic?
Me.
Everything is you.
Babe, it's true.
Okay, that's true. Though.
Yeah.
Like even bring me the flowers and
Yes,
the chocolates and
yes.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. You are more
Yeah.
romantic. Even our engagement
Yeah.
was so beautiful. I was like, you can
yeah,
pull
of
such
course.
nice things off.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Who spends more time on their phone?
Althea.
You. Matu.
Althea. Althea.
Say social media, me.
Yes,
but on the phone.
where's the social
no,
media?
Matu, say that you now be serious. You're always on your phone on calls, day in, day out.
That's fine.
Yeah, so that's you spending more time
But
on your phone.
when I'm in the office, I actually leave my phone in the
Matu,
office.
you cannot because you always getting
And
calls.
then what I normally do,
This is not a fair, whatever.
it's a tr-
Because you're not being fair. Okay, if you say on social media, I'll accept. But
Yes.
Matu, on your phone, it's you. From
You
day
know
in, day
what
out,
we-
you're always on your phone.
we have what we call what's it called? The clock counter inside the phone. What's it called? That thing that
tells
Yeah.
time, whatever, that tells
let's
you.
compare ours. You see.
We'll compare after this. But me, I know that one is you. It's not even me. Okay, last question. Who said I love you first?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
So everything is you, apart from. Actually, everything is you.
Yeah, but you see, it's
Oh,
because-
apart from me leaving dishes in the sink.
yeah.
All the nice things are you.
They're not nice. It's just I
Oh.
chose to be intentional about. I want to do these things for you.
And me?
Yes, babe, you're the girl. I'm supposed to do these
Okay,
things
just
for
say
you.
you spend more time on the phone.
But that's not true.
Matu.
Why would I say
It's
that?
true.
No, it's not. Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
Anyways.
Fine.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
you did say you love me
You
first.
see, I said sorry again.
This one, man. You're so silly. But yeah. So
Yeah,
that's. Any last words for people out here? Valentine's Day, people being bombarded with
Yeah.
love and everything.
Mhm.
Maybe they're feeling like they haven't found the person, or what would you want to say in this season?
I always used to say that I didn't believe in Valentine's Day because I think every day when you're with someone should be Valentine's Day. You should always take that time to really be intentional. So, and if you don't have someone, I believe number one, building a relationship with Christ is very important, so that you focus on that, and also working on yourself, and also changing your unnecessary expectations in regards to the kind of person God is going to bring you.
Yeah, because what your list is and what He brings may be different.
Align your list with His.
But mine was everything.
But you see, it
10
was
things
His
I
list.
asked for. Oh yeah, because I was praying at that time,
Exactly,
and
because the previous lists
yeah.
were very different.
No, I've only written one list,
You know how that
and
is
you are
before?
everything on that list. I asked for a beard,
Uh-huh.
good teeth,
But no,
tall.
but the other
Thank you, Jesus.
the other list, in the other list.
Which one? I never
Before
have
me.
another list. I had never had another
you know,
list.
you're lucky your mom is not here.
Matu,
Where
the
she was
only
going.
time I ever wrote a list was when I
Yeah.
started praying about my marriage,
Yeah.
and those are the 10 things
So you never
God
had
was telling me to
you
write.
never had a list.
I could have
in-
had my whatever the type of people I used to be with before,
uh.
but I was not. I had never
People are
written a list.
going to different countries. Imagine the words of encouragement.
Ay,
So the words of encouragement that I have is just manage the expectations that you have of the kind of person God will send you, and work with the person. Because when Althea met me, I was very broke. It was not good. Very embarrassingly broke. It was. Yeah, I didn't.
but you took me to art cafe. Broke people can't go to art cafe.
That's all I had.
Yeah,
That's all the money I
that's
had.
still very good.
No,
Broke
it's
people don't have
no.
anything to
I
do.
prioritized the date over my own comfort.
Oh yeah.
That's that's what I had.
Yeah.
So I worked with the little that I had. I had been broker than that, that's for sure. But at least God really took care of me, and yeah. So just be willing to work with a guy. He doesn't have to have, because see, even the person you see, she didn't find me like this. We worked together, and this is what came out. You see,
Nabado.
in Abado. You see, so everything that you see is as a result of what God has done so far. So yeah, that's the word of advice that I'd give anyone who's listening and watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for this chaotic conversation, guys. Matu, we're not being truthful, but it's okay. In those questions that I asked.
But I answered that. You agreed to them. There's only one that's contention.
Whatever. Okay. So this brings us to the end of our first episode. Thank you guys for listening in and watching. Please like, comment, share this episode. In the comments, let's be interactive. If there's anything that tickled you during this conversation, if you feel like Matu was lying about some things, let it be. Yeah, comment down below, and see you guys next time. Bye.